Hello and welcome back to This or That with Kobe and Jap, presented by Verizon.
You look good
Hot
today.
off that Team Liquid Smash.
They are looking good too.
Thank you.
APA.
That's nice today. I like this. Okay, keep the compliments coming. Let's get into the slides. see what we got. Oh, first one's about APA. Favorite thing about him so far? The dance moves or the trash talk? In the first game, he was all chatting.
They both take a lot of confidence, honestly. Like,
do they? So this one, they were already stomping. They were already winning really hard.
Listen, let me tell you, take every League player. All of them are willing to trash talk and all chat. Not all of them will do this.
Yeah.
So this is actually more unique, so I'm going this.
And it's fully embracing, you know, the Champions Queue victories that he got.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't want to play a lot of Champions Queue. I respect that. Put in a lot of work.
Rank 1 Champions Queue.
Uh-huh. I also like that he just spams the emotes.
Yeah, he wears that more than I expected. Slide number 2 on This or That. Which solo queue power pick should see LCS play? Karthus, Talon, or Akshan?
I'm a big Talon fan, but I think Akshan would actually be more likely. Karthus is definitely viable as jungle, bottom, or mid even.
Proximity is like my jam so far, so it's just going to be Karthus because I think Karthus bot.
But so let's get deep into it. Which one should we see LCS play?
I think also Karthus. Yeah, I just don't think Talon's going to work people ward too well.
I think we need more AD mid laners with
Tristana?
with Jason Tristana getting bans.
Yone, Jace.
Talon makes games interesting, roaming around, flipping over walls, invading junglers, killing them on their camps.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be wrong, you can.
And he's risky.
Karthus.
I'm sticking to my guns. I'm sticking to Talon.
Okay.
I'm in a Katarina Talon autofill mid. Do you believe in Jensen to Worlds?
This is hard because he's done it 8 times in a row. No one else has ever done it that many times, let alone that many times in a row. Get Jensen to Worlds. I'm going that.
What? You don't think so? You're going to be a Debbie Downer?
Yep.
Why?
Because I think Cloud9's going to Worlds, Golden Guardian's going to Worlds, and either EG or TL are going to Worlds. That doesn't leave room for Jensen. Although there are 4. There are 4 teams
yeah,
this year.
they could be our 4th. Then they could beat the EU team. Yeah. I'm in there. I'm in there. Jensen's got the magic. It's gonna make it happen. It's summer. Dignitas is turning around. They're playing top lane carries. Top lane. They got a Lowy banned against them, Jat.
Sure. I mean, like, you're gonna get the brownie points right now because it's a nice thing to say, but check back in a couple months, it's gonna be that. Next slide. I'm just gonna disagree with Kobe. Easier case to make this Palafox is a top 3 mid, or that FBI is a top 3 AD carry.
Interesting.
It's not saying they are, but what's an easier one to argue?
13-minute pentakill makes it a little easier. Today, helping out, huh? Okay, I'm gonna
25 stack Medjai's, LeBlanc, Palafaker, in all their wins, he really pops off. I actually think this is an easier case to make because the mid pool is pretty weak.
That definitely has been the case.
It's this.
All right, I'm with you. Yeah! Palafaker to the top.
Okay, next slide. This or that. Who is your TSM MVP? Bugi, Insanity, or WildTurtle?
So mine has been WildTurtle over the entire stretch because he's been so consistently delivering for TSM. Although there is a bigger difference, of course, because they keep changing Insanity in and out. Yeah. I feel like that's gonna get a lot of votes.
Right. I mean, they did, like, mysteriously have him out when he had to play against JoJo. And just like, take that one, and then it's like, haha, I win all my games. But anyway, he actually has been really good. Yeah. So I'm gonna still say WildTurtle though.
He's been so consistent.
He's actually been so consistent in team fights.
Bugi did have a really good game this week, but that's not enough for me to extend the consistency that Turtle's had.
This is a good question. We'll see if they can beat Golden Guardians. Final slide has to do with Golden Guardians.
Do you believe Golden Guardians will break the 9-9 curse? They have never in the history of the organization gotten more than 9 wins. They are currently at 8 wins. So breaking the curse would mean getting 2-10.
Think of all the times they've had a lot of wins and then suspiciously lost. I don't think they want to get to 10 wins.
So they only need 2 more wins in 7 games. That's doable for me. The team is looking really good right now.
So you're gonna say there's been an org.
Yeah,
for
all
6,
in.
7
Look
years,
at that. I'm all in.
That 10 wins is inevitable. They get 9 if they beat TSM next.
Inevitable is a strong word.
This. It's definitely going to happen. Nothing could possibly curse Golden Guardians from getting the 10 wins. That's a wrap for this or that. Send us your questions in the comments. Kobe, you got to go cast their maybe 9th win.
No time to start like the present.
Yeah, Flowers and Kobe take it away. That's why I was giving you time to leave, but you stood around to say that there is no time like the present, and we're done. Flowers.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Flowers. There's no Kobe yet. You know, we've had a couple of pauses today, so I'm sure you guys don't want to hear me say a bunch of stuff like I'm trying to buy some time. So instead, go ahead, pull up a nice warm cup of coffee, or it's kind of late, so maybe don't do that, but get yourself comfy. It's time for a little Skarner lore reading. Long before the rise of Shurima's great empire, the remote northwestern valleys were home. Oh, wait, hold on. We're starting to champ select. All right, man, I don't know what to say during this. Skarner's not getting picked during this. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, hey.
More Skarner lore time?
Welcome back. That's what I was going to do, but then they started champ select on me, and then I was a little confused for a second, but I'm glad to have you back, buddy.
I always love the Captainflowers Skarner lore. I've been turning into the Captainflowers of Volibear recently. Spamming Volibear only, getting into the Volibear lore as well. It's deep, let me tell you.
Is it?
It is.
I thought he was just a bear. He likes the snow.
No, he's a demigod. He's got a lot of problems with his siblings. You know, I can relate to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Ornn and Anivia giving him a rough early childhood.
Is Volibear's brother?
Anivia is Volibear's sister. Ornn, brother.
Anivia's a girl?
Yeah.
Huh. I learn something new every day. Okay.
There you go, Bird Girl.
Well, all right. Kindred and Aphelios and Rumble and Rakan and Sejuani and LeBlanc all banned away, and Tristana is locked in first pick. I am not surprised.
Yeah, honestly, we were talking about the AD mid laners, and Tristana right now is coming at a premium, especially because Maokai is also so good. So honestly, kind of expect TSM to lock in jungle in the first 1, 2, 3 here, and maybe lock AD carry as well. Support going to counterpick has become a lot more prevalent, so that's getting dropped from first set of picks a lot more often. So I feel like that's a pretty easy path for them to go. Meanwhile, Golden Guardians, they instantly go for the Ashe for Stixxay, which initially I'm a little bit sad about because Stixxay has been carrying so well, but of course the Aphelios is banned out, and so maybe they feel like it's really just been the Aphelios magic, and without that, they'd rather have the utility of the hawkshot of the Ashe Arrow engage.
I like Poppy a lot into Tristana because the same thing that lets Tristana get away with so much BS with her rocket jump, where she just seems to buffer through everything, makes it so easy for Poppy to stop her from rocket jumping away with Steadfast Presence. You can see her start the casting animation and interrupt it on command, like reactively. You don't even have to predict when she's going to do it. So I'm a big fan of this. As a player that doesn't have very good mechanics, low barriers of execution appeal to me. So looks like TSM are deciding, hey, well, we're going to give ourselves a very powerful front line here to go along with this Cannon and Tristana. We got the Maokai blocked in. Are we also going to take this guy for the top side? No, of course not, because Renekton's up.
Yeah,
I'm getting tired of Renekton.
There's some pretty easy pairings to pick, and the Maokai is another one of those. So no surprise there from TSM. They don't actually, though, lock in their AD carry here, so they've decided to keep the Tristana allure of the flex alive, although the chances of it going bottom are significantly less. I will say WildTurtle has some of LCS's all-time highlights on Tristana.
Yep.
Just ask Stixxay about the crits at the hands of Turtle, and you can get into some deep history there. Gori, though, pulls out the Sylas into the Maokai. You're looking for a couple things for good Sylas angles. Alistar, Maokais are at the very top for amazing ults to steal. So no hesitation from him, even into that Tristana.
Yep, I love seeing them lock that in before their opponents have a chance to ban it out to keep that stolen Maokai ulti away from them. Kai'Sa banned out by Golden Guardians. Melio banned out by TSM. If you have Maokai and you want to lock down the whole enemy team, the last thing you want is this dude just giving everybody an instant get out of jail free card in the AoE and negating the whole thing.
Especially if your Maokai just gave their Sylas Maokai ult, and then they have Melio ult to nullify your Maokai ult.
That feels bad.
That's very much feels bad. So good job. Yeah, I definitely agree banning that one out. It's also a really good pairing with Ashe. The Ashe Melio is one of the best duos for Ashe, so targeting Stixxay there, trying to keep him down. He's definitely been one of the best performers. Golden Guardians with the Karma ban as well, and we've seen a slight increase in attempted like double poke bottom lanes.
Yeah.
So maybe thinking something like an Ezreal Karma lane was going to come through with the Tristana staying in mid in Insanity's hands, and the Rel also taken out for the extra engage here.
All right, get the pasta ready. Casante's locked in for Golden Guardian.
4,700 HP?
Only 15 mana on the queue. Oh, and I am not going to be surprised at all if this gets locked in. Turtle has had plenty of pop-off moments on this champion. I think it's become pretty iconic for him, like lifetime as well as here in this split. So that one gets locked in for TSM on the Jinx. And then, hey, if they have some powerful engage tools, I love a Braum to be able to disengage. He's great for blocking the enchanted crystal arrows from long range. He can stop the stolen Maokai ultis, just tank up, have everybody else fall in behind him. I'm liking the picks here.
Yeah, Braum is especially good with multiple melee champions for your opponents. Really, really difficult to get over that large AoE. Can apply passive to multiple people. So brings the whole team fight together there for TSM. TSM with the double AD carries, super beefy front line here.
Whoa.
Hey, we get the sack! We're getting... I actually love the trend in the LCS over the last couple of weeks where we're getting so many more fringe champion picks. And now we actually get to talk about a couple of things that you normally don't get to. You know, you have to gloss over. But Zach is actually really strong right now. If you can protect the level 1, your first clear is always a little bit sketchy on the Zac. You are prone to invades. And especially since TSM have a Braum, I actually expect TSM to formulate a level 1 invade plan now against the Zac to start this game out. Get in there and start targeting immediately once you see that late pick. But,
man, that's support Zac.
I got so happy with it. It's support Zac. Way less cool for me, but it's still definitely effective in the bottom lane versus some of these melee matchups. Huhi has been one of the LCS supports to play all of the melee supports under the sun very effectively and getting those engages off.
With all
I am so high. I really want to see Jungle Zac played though. But you can still go. The support items are so good for him right now. Even Shroud and Abyssal amp both his damage as well as all of your team's damage really, really effectively. Since you are support, you don't go probably for the Sunfire like the jungle Zac does.
And even Shroud and Abyssal are both cheap as hell.
Yeah,
really
that's
easy to buy
the best part. That's why I love them for junglers as well.
All right, let's do it.
Don't tell Riot that you're not a support.
Okay, yeah. Don't listen to this part, Riot. All y'all that are watching, just turn it off for a couple minutes.
All right.
Okay, so this is our last game of the day, our last game of this week, number 4. And if the Golden Guardians get a win here, they will tie that all-time record that they've had mini splits before of 9 wins.
It's a big one. But to tie it is not enough.
They got to break it.
We really want to break that because the curse for the entire duration of the existence of the organization
Since 2018.
Golden Guardians never getting more than 9 wins. First step, though, is to get their flowers, of course. All right. Started out now. Off the back of a support Zac would be a big way to do it.
There's a lot of engage here on the side of Golden Guardians. Gori can steal away that Maokai ulti like we were talking about. You've got Stixxay's arrow. You've got huhi flying over the top of everybody. River can find one of those wall angles. And then, you know, Cassante just files in and starts causing a ruckus. I like what these guys can do.
That's a good description of Cassante.
He just shows up. He's like, all right, I got the Intofos. Where are we going? I like this comp. I hope the Golden Guardians can make it really work out super well here. I think that this is a team that sort of surprised everybody this year with how well they've been doing, and I love seeing the innovation being the icing on that cake. He steps up with the stretching strikes, just bangs their heads together, and Stixxay is free firing on WildTurtle. Exhaust comes out from TSM. It's traded for the cleanse there on Stixxay's Ashe. So 2 summoner spells spent by TSM, the cleanse as well on the Jinx.
And biggest part, Flowers, is the jungle. You've got a Poppy who went Raptors down to steal red here for River. I would like this aggressive look for him. He goes his own Raptors down to red so he can be around this spicy bottom lane with huhi landing the first Q there on Chime and WildTurtle, getting a knock together, getting the summoner spell trade. Looks like this wave is going to crash a little bit early, and he's just going to steal away the red for now. But Hawkshot goes up as well and finds Maokai. They know 100% the Maokai's top side. This is a 3v2.
Okay, River walks over a ward, so TSM's bottom lane is aware of the potential dive here. Golden Guardian's still got to do a little bit more work, though, to shove the wave up. River does not get to connect on the wall stun there on WildTurtle, and that means he's the one who has to flash away.
It's okay, though, because Poppies will 95% of the time run Hex Flash. River is doing that in this game, so defensive flash there from him. He can still use it later on for offensive Hex Flash setups, but now they're getting Bugi ganked to come check. They scope him out, no problem there, and they'll just return back to their own side now.
Hex Flash is one of those runes that it feels really, really good on some champions, and on other ones, it's pants on head useless. But Poppy's one of the ones that is just
Pants could be a cool hat, okay?
I mean,
there's some use there, come on. Where's your fashion sense, Flowers?
Poppy loves this thing, man. I love Hex Flash on Poppy. I think it opens up so many cool angles for plays.
True.
And hopefully River can make you some use of that. You know, over the chicken wall is one of my favorites.
Over the back of the Dragon Pit is another really good angle that you can do with it, and that would allow them to try and keep up some pressure on that bottom side, keep playing off of this Zac jungle that we want to see be the star of the show. And so far, Stixxay being able to push them in, but it's a mid gank and he's toast.
Bugi with the flash for the lockdown, man. TSM get the first blood, and they get the money on Insanity.
Yeah, fancy little moves for this Poppy. Oh, going Raptors invid. Haha, diving our bottom lane. But good old-fashioned flash W point and click from Maokai. Undodgeable unless you flash really early to get out of the range there. So really good collapse, and getting a first kill onto a Tristana versus a Sylas matchup is so painful. Already Tristana just beats on Sylas. Really hard for Sylas to keep up the HP to be able to CS with, and since some of those die on tower during the exchange there, he's going to be hurting a little bit even more. Insanity will be able to just get his full recall off and walk back. So Insanity keeps his teleport, whereas Gori, of course, using his to get back out. Maokai's going to look for a mid while River looks bottom.
River with the Hex Flash over the wall to avoid the ward and also guarantee that he gets there in time as the wave crashes. Nicely played here from the Golden Guardians, but now huhi's blobs are going to die thanks to the reinforcement of TSM's mid laner. Insanity wanted to keep this one going a little bit further. Nice sidestep there to get away from the E2 on the Sylas. River just barely misses out on the maximum range for the stun into the wall. And Golden Guardians have to walk it away. They will not get a return kill back on the Trist.
Yeah, that was so close to being another one. Inches away from that wall. Forces the flash here. Insanity saw it coming as soon as Gori dashed to the side there. Was going to come out, but we did see the difference in the teleports there. Insanity gets down, plus 800 gold. The lead stays for TSM, and they rotate WildTurtle up towards mid lane because they kept Insanity down there, trying to push off that extra one. Should be able to shove it back out and rotate right back down, no problem. But here goes Cassante.
All right, Licorice is all out. Hauntzer gonna get juggled back there with a third in Tofo strike, but Hauntzer might be able to turn this one around. Never mind, here comes River, and it's huhi who gets the kill.
I love it. He picks the Zac support, and Flowers, he's making plays from minute one in this game. Zac all over the place. Roam timer, first one for huhi, immediately to the top side to get that kill for the squad.
And he's also playing Bubblegum Zac. So you just know you're trying to lane, you're trying to have a good time, and this big old ugly piece of bubblegum just shows up, splatters all over the lane, and steals the kill. That's a tilter. That's important, I think.
It really is. Otherwise known as the Majin Buu skin. If you watch any Dragon Ball.
Oh, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, all right, you're talking my language. I usually miss the anime references.
I saw your face
I
immediately contort, and you're like,
I had to think. I had to engage parts of my brain that don't normally get used as Gori runs back away from Insanity, who wanted to rocket jump forward there, get some more value out of that explosive charge, but it's not going to happen here this time around. TSM still up a little bit of gold, but honestly, it's not a whole lot. Game can still go either way, as it's been pretty even here for the first 7 minutes. Remember, the previous game, Team Liquid was up almost 2,000 gold at this same timer on the clock.
I love the action so far, the pace of this game. And now turning back towards this bottom side river here. Maokai moving through with the control ward, dropping an extra sapling here. Just trying to create some more space, some more vision for Insanity to push Gori in. If you can keep this Tristana farming plates, trying to force Gori to miss CS.
Well, Gori, luckily for Insanity, is out of mana now, so he's not going to be able to do a whole lot more chasing, but he does have the Buster Shot stolen away.
And it should be able to well, never mind, he's going to go for it again. He does have stolen Tristana ult, so we have a little bit of extra burst there towards the end, but not able to find the engage this time around. And now the squad is going to go clear out the extra wards that were just placed and free up that lane again.
Exactly. Back in the bottom lane. It's still a slight CS lead for Stixxay on the Ashe. Huhi doing a lot of roaming around, so it's not like Stixxay can push a lot of advantages without his support being nearby. River will just pass through mid here. Shadow Gori a little bit.
Yeah. And the reason we keep calling out this section of the river, it's so important because you have these supports that can get off really powerful ganks. Zack's support coming from bottom lane still can be really annoying for the mid lane matchup, and you want Gori, or you want Insanity to be able to play as aggressively as possible, so they're trying to keep it clear. And on the side of Golden Gardens, you want Gori to be able to go for these Sylas trades and keep threatening. And we're gonna see just that right now.
Huhi standing on top of a control ward, so he knows his opponents cannot see him in the fog right now. River coming around from the side as Huhi jumps into the mid lane, and now problems for the Golden Guardians. Licorice is found out by Bugi and Hauntzer. River's trying to disengage it with a Keeper's Verdict, but Insanity's already killed off Licorice. Nice pickup there for TSM.
Actually, beautiful stuff there from TSM, keeping Licorice at arm's length, so he can't ult anybody through the wall, so he has no escape. Maokai ult just roots him up. He's pinned there. They kill him from range, burst him down, and should be able to get the objective off of it. 2v1 at the beginning, did a lot of work. Licorice was trying to get early position on Herald, but TSM all over it. And it's starting out with another strong game for this squad. TSM with Insanity back in the driver's seat in mid lane, looking a lot better. 3 kills for him on that Tristana. All according to the game plan, Flowers.
He was playing the Graves mid, he's playing Tristana mid. The guy is comfortable on these marksman mid laners, and TSM are reaping the rewards from that one. Even has a nice little tidy CS lead for himself. No early Drake take from either side this time around. Early Cloud doesn't have that same sort of attractiveness as the Ocean or the Hex might.
In fact, a lot of times it even dissuades me from going for early dragons. Gori is just getting shot in the back.
Yeah, he took a whole bunch of bullets to the head on that one. Insanity forces him right back out of lane.
But yeah, not only does the Cloud Dragon, the buff isn't that great, but also it does the most DPS because dragons do percentage health damage and it has the highest attack speed of dragons. So for a lot of junglers, it's really annoying, especially for tanks to be able to take. So
right.
It does get left off. Never mind.
Ooh, River. Looking to stop Insanity here. A second plate does go over to the TSM mid laner. Insanity is trying to get away from this one. He has to flash, though, with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow would have sealed his fate. He couldn't rocket jump because, again, River can reactively stop it with the Steadfast Presence. So Insanity was waiting until the last possible moment trying to save the flash, but that arrow forces the Summoner Split.
Fun Zack play here. Now taking over extra vision, though. They take the Raptors. They definitely have full wards around Dragon to set up for the 1v1. Licorice!
Licorice trying to duel Hauntzer down here, but it don't work out. Hauntzer takes him out.
He danced on his head!
Emotes. Hauntzer styling on him.
He just danced directly on top of Licorice's head. We'll see about that one. Renekton, turret plate on top side as well. He's pushing in for another one. Take a look at it. Okay, so Licorice with the ult under tower wanted to chase him down, but Hauntzer simply too much damage here with the Renekton ultimate, and Q3 does hit him closer to the turret again, but Licorice is toast.
Adios, buddy. And then, just spamming those emotes. I love it.
Kicked a little dirt on him.
We're getting a lot of personality this week in the LCS. I'm always a fan of seeing more of that. I want to see more trash talk. I want to see more emotes, more spam. I wish we could enable the alt chat, but I know sometimes things get a little spicy in the alt. Herald summon up in the mid lane, keeping things spicy there. Some more money for Insanity. Man, TSM's up 2,000 gold now, just shy of 12 minutes. Awesome early game from this squad.
Insanity, definitely a rich mid laner here for TSM, but Gori does have the stolen Maokai ult. See if the teammates make the difference here.
I like this Firefighter Tristana pick from Insanity because that was the original. You remember how that was the original legendary skin? These days they put all the fancy particle effects and new animations, voices, all sorts of stuff on them. And back then it's like, hey, this Tristana has a hat. All the other ones don't.
And it's kind of like the little splash of water comes out of the gun too.
Yeah, it's like a piece out of time. But Insanity is having a time of his life here in this mid lane. Awesome early game from him so far. As River's going to start up the Drake finally. 12.5 minutes into the game. Plates have almost fallen, and finally we're going to see some attention on this neutral objective in the south side of Summoner's Rift as TSM send Bugi and Chime and Insanity over to see what's going on. But huhi's over the wall. Enchanted Crystal Arrow leads the way, and now the Nature's Grasp is ready to follow it up. Bugi in some trouble here as huhi's trying to bounce all over these guys. Chime with the retreat back over the wall as Insanity wants to re-engage, but huhi with a good drop, dropping the aggro here with a stopwatch. Hauntzer's in the middle of 5, but that's not where he wants to be. Goodbye, Crocodile. Golden Guardians get 2.
Where are you going, Insanity? He rocket jumps right into the enemy team there. Point blank, Golden Guardians sit him down. And my boy Zachary with a nice little engage over the top here.
Zachary.
Who he's on a ward, so they see him coming, but Ashe Arrow into Zach plus Maokai ultimate is a great start out, so they get a pretty big lead. The initial disengage there, but what comes is the re-engage. So I think it's off this teleport. He's counting on Hauntzer to be the other part of the pincer, but he goes a little early. Like, Hauntzer's not even there yet. Hauntzer's teleport still had another like second on completion. And so since the Renekton can't flash in at the same time that the Tristana rocket jumps in, TSM got a little antsy, and Insanity went a little bit too early on their re-engage, so Golden Guardians very happy to try and get some kills back for themselves, because they needed it, honestly. And TSM, they're still nursing a nice 1,900 gold lead for themselves, but Golden Guardians happy to get a little something.
Plus, remember, when Tristana jumps in with the rocket jump, the thing that resets it is setting off the explosive charge. The charge was strapped to huhi. Huhi went into stopwatch. You're not getting any more stacks. You're not getting any more charges on that explosive. You're not getting back out. And Tristana just ends up sealing her own fate there. It was nicely played from the Golden Guardians.
Yeah, huhi doing a lot of work so far on this Zach. Let's see if it's enough for Golden Guardians to actually mount the comeback, though. They got step number 1. They got the bounty off the Tristana, and they're getting step number 2 done now.
All right, first Drake, 15 minutes into the game. Finally, about to go over the Golden Guardians there. Super Mega Death Rocket takes it low, but not low enough to steal it away. Secured by River and the Golden Guardians.
I gotta say, those things really make you sweat. The rockets, before your smite has evolved fully to the 1200, it's really annoying to deal with there. Doesn't get this one, though. Turtle still at the top of the gold charts, though.
Do you remember when they were bugged and they could hit neutral objectives for like 2,000 damage? And they would just steal stuff from you all the time anyway.
Yeah, and everybody blames you anyways.
I hated those things. Those were the worst rockets of all time. Unless you were a Jinx player, then you probably loved them. But Hauntzer's going to go ahead and finish off this top lane tier 1 turret. That'll be a 2-0 turret lead for the side of TSM. While Golden Guardians try to make a play here in the mid lane, but WildTurtle is having none of it. Ready to turn some of that damage around, and huhi just gives him a free kill. Avert your eyes, Zach players. That one was not good.
This is exactly what TSM want, though. So much money into WildTurtle. He has been so consistent for this team. Really strong carry for them for team fights. And we'll see what he can do with that money on next back. He's going all the way up to secondary turret right now.
Did River just flash a FlyQuest emblem?
I was looking at the mini-map. So I'm going to default to trust and say, hell yeah, he did.
Okay, hell yeah, brother. All right, TSM are going to pick up a Rift Herald here for themselves now. Continuing to try to build that lead, build that momentum, build towards this mid-game snowball that they just want to completely wash Golden Guardians away from the Rift on. You can see first items being completed for just about everybody now. 3 Kraken Slayers on the map, both 80 carries as well as that mid laner there for TSM and Insanity. Gore Drinker done for the Renekton now for a little bit of that extra tankiness. Honestly, the only 2 without the fully completed item are Bugi and Chime, and I would have to think that Bugi's got to be close.
Yeah, and Turtle's closing in on 2 here. And they just rotate the Jinx with no flash into mid lane. You want to keep WildTurtle as safe as possible. There are so many forms of engage from Golden Guardians that can come from off screen. Your Ashe Arrow into your Zac combination. So you see good play here from Turtle, just hovers on tower, stay mid. As long as you're right underneath it, you shouldn't be the victim of a dive, and continue farming up.
And yeah, Bugi completes the demonic embrace right after I mention it, and even slightly before he gets that first item, Hauntzer's now got 2 fully completed ones. The Gore Drinker plus the Black Cleaver, the Renekton plus 43 CS over Cassante. Hauntzer's been having an awesome game here so far up against Licorice.
Yep, you got the kill, got the solo kill, got the dance on him, got a bunch of turret money. Now we're gonna see the remnants of this turret go down though.
Okay, River starting it off with the Keeper's Verdict to make sure they got a massive numbers advantage, and Turtle is already dead. Nicely played from the Guardians to take out the enemy carry and the mid lane turret.
So, about that plan to just play safe.
Yeah.
Rough to do against the Golden Guardians with this much engage. Turtle had to cleanse, but that is not enough. Golden Guardians make the dive good. They get the turret as well. They chop that gold lead back down a little bit.
I looked at the cleanse. I did not see any moves because WildTurtle could not get away from that one. No, sir. Easy pickup there for Golden Guardians, and they're making this game interesting. I was getting a little bit worried when TSM were getting up to 3,000 gold that we were going to have another stomp, but we are seeing some blows back and forth from both sides.
Yeah, I think the critical kill to get the bounty off Tristana in that mid-game fight, where you're talking about the stopwatch from huhi and
Insanity.
Trailing Braum, though.
Jumped on by Gori, who fires off the Buster Shot and then flashes away from Winter's Bite to guarantee that TSM can't chase him down. I like Gori going for that because if Chime isn't there, he 100% gets that kill.
Yeah, definitely bullies him back. And the minions stop the recall. This might open up another timing here. I believe they saw.
Meanwhile, huhi going after Bugi. Stretching strikes, but nothing to stretching strike him into. All right, everybody retreats now. Gori's like, nah, I don't want any more of this. Reinforcements are coming. TSM could collapse. There's no point in giving away a free kill. It's less than 60 seconds until the Drake spawns. Only the second one of the game. 19, almost 20 minutes in because that first one was delayed so far. So do not be expecting any sort of soul win conditions in this one anytime soon.
There's a lot of open area to look for picks right now. You've got the long range Ashe, Zac combination. Maokai has to be a little bit wary of Sylas positioning right now. Don't want to give him the Maokai ultimate too early. So actually running straight down mid lane. Gori's looking for it. Can he yoink it?
Whoa. Where's it at, buddy? Nope. The Herald just finds its way into the tier 2 turret. Not going to get a kill though, and TSM retreat a little bit further backwards. They want to make sure they have control over this bot side river as the Drake spawns here in 3, 2, 1. Objective is up. River looking to see if there's an angle here off to the side as Insanity will try to clear out the waves. Licorice will be the one leading the charge for Golden Guardians. TSM making sure they got to protect this mid laner. Insanity cannot be the first one to die here as River finds a wall slam and then immediately retreats with a steadfast presence. Gori's got the Maokai ulti now.
Phase rush is so funny. You can go in for a little charge, just playing. Runs right back out. Golden Guardians leash the dragon. huhi up here, there's no vision from TSM, so the Zac will be out of vision. They try and sniff out the possible flank. They don't contest the dragon though. They give it up to Golden Guardians. The position was too good. There are too many angles there for the engage for Golden Guardians. TSM don't want to give it to him.
I love that call from TSM. It's only second Drake of the game. It's only a Chemtech Drake at that. They're fine giving it away. It's not worth the risk for that little bit of reward. But Golden Guardians will secure themselves that second Drake. It's an Infernal Rift. So things could get pretty interesting here. It's a little unlucky on Infernal Rift to have Infernal Rift spawn when you're playing Zac, because normally you love being able to abuse the fact that you can ignore terrain, and now there's just less of the terrain. Also for Poppy, not the greatest.
Yeah.
You can't bang him.
Got an ability to knock people into walls, and there's less walls.
Yeah, it's a little bit troll here for a couple of the Golden Guardians players, but hey, what can you do? That's RNG. Okay, never mind. We're not going to get anything there. Just a little bit of jockeying for position, seeing who can control the brushes. Licorice versus Hauntzer here in the bot lane. Again, the farm just continues growing in favor of Hauntzer even after the laning phase has ended. These guys are still just stuck dealing with one another in the side lane, and it's Hauntzer who remains in control.
Been doing a good job there, pushing in as well, so he should have first move. They both have teleports for the top laners, which are currently bottom lane, but he's getting the first recall off with the extra wave, and the rest of TSM just trying to control their own jungle here as Chime clears out an extra ward, and they do secure blue, no problem.
And I don't expect Golden Guardians to try to force anything right there because of the fact that Gori's stolen Maokai ulti was about to time out. He had to just cast it up in the top lane like you saw. And since they don't have the Maokai ulti available to use, they know that that's an advantage they would much rather have if they're going to force a fight into TSM territory. So for now, Golden Guardians has to back up, and TSM will try to clear out some more of that vision here. Sweepers and control wards abound, but there is still river control for the Golden Guardians overall.
See if they can actually make a hard push towards it. Because right now, Hauntzer just went straight back down towards bottom side. He's back to pushing. Again, he's one wave earlier than Licorice. So TSM are pretty happy to get the early move. Oh,
Ooh.
-1. Not so happy anymore, are ya?
Nope. Sorry, Mr. Crocodile.
Man, the Observer's not letting them get away with that one. Usually they're real nice. They're like, can't a minion, just tab away to somebody else. Whew. The shame cam on
Feel
that
the
one.
consequences of that one. He might be up plus 60, but it's really only like plus 57 now because the cannon's worth so much.
Brutal. Savage. Wrecked. All right. Back to the age-old fight over positioning on Baron. Saplings give you the small advantage, but Bugi doesn't have the same backup, so see if Gori can actually get another burst angle. You saw how much damage he's able to put into Insanity before.
Yeah.
And he does have his Zhonya's completed, so he definitely wants to look for one of these aggressive all-in plays. And huhi on the Zac was maxing E, even though he was support also, by the way, so he's looking for the long range.
And Gori is level 14. Insanity just now leveled up to 13. Pretty big EXP difference between mid laners here, especially considering how good Insanity was doing early on in the game with a 3-kill lead. As, again, neither team wanting to overcommit. Neither team wanting to be the one that jumps into a situation, getting caught off guard, getting punished. And Gori feels confident in this side lane situation. Sylas feels like he just becomes another champion once you've got both of these active items online with the Everfrost and the Zhonyas. It enables so much playmaking both offensively and defensively. And with Gori being such an important piece in the Golden Guardians puzzle for how this team has turned around from being perennially 10th place to being 2nd place in spring, I think that this is the kind of guy they can trust to pop off in those moments. But huhi's getting caught. Passive hop. Meanwhile, back in the bottom lane, Licorice is all out, and Hauntzer's in some trouble. Licorice with a flash forward for the solo kill and the shutdown. But with huhi also taken out in the other side of the rift, it means Golden Guardians still got a problem to answer.
This is going to be interesting because Licorice won the 1v1. He can teleport in. The Baron's just getting burst, though.
Yeah, they're going to take the Baron. TSM are going straight in for this. Enchanted Crystal Arrow misses. Gori has to pop the Zhonyas just to stay alive. WildTurtle tries to get away, but Gori takes him down. Licorice and River and Stixxay against Insanity, Chime and Bugi. Bugi's going to be shot to pieces by the arrows as Insanity wants to fire back. Over the wall goes River, and he slams him in the face with the hammer. It's a double kill for Insanity as the Ashe is finished off, but Licorice and River want to get Chime. He'll barely escape and critically keep the Baron alive for at least one player on TSM.
What a fight. Poppy barely has enough damage to finish off Insanity, but the explosive charge still exploded and got the extra kill. Okay, Maokai ultimate, good job there. TSM keep River out. They had Maokai ult and Chime on River denial duty, so they secure the Baron, but then it gets dicey with Licorice teleporting in off of his win there, and Stixxay, that Hurricane did so much there. He was spreading a lot of damage. You see Stixxay on the bottom side, though. Insanity got his ult off at the very end, so the explosive charge kills him off screen, while River just barely has enough hammer shock damage to kill him, too. This one is bloody flowers. This one's been bloody all game long, and it's fun to watch. Golden Guardians up 2 dragons, but down 2,000 gold, and the Baron buff. TSM coming to make it more.
Pathmaker from Licorice ready to re-engage against TSM as they try to collapse on the Cassante. And Licorice now has to be careful. He's so very low, and WildTurtle's ready to provide a little bit of extra damage. All out to escape for Licorice, but Stixxay can't do the same. Gori gets shot to pieces next, and Insanity's grabbing yet another kill. TSM may have just found the window to try to end the game nice and early. WildTurtle, Hauntzer, and Chime leading the charge. Critically remember, Chime was the one who survived. He is the one Baron buff for TSM, making sure this push hurts the Guardians.
Yeah, good 20 seconds here left on Stixxay. 30 on Gori, and TSM gonna see what else they can get. 3v5 for the time being.
Licorice just wants to hold these guys off, but the Nature's Grasp has other plans. First Nexus turret is going to explode to Tristana as River and Licorice and huhi all try to defend to no avail. The Nexus turrets fall. TSM goes straight for the throat, and they take down Golden Guardians.
All they need is one Baron buff left. TSM. Strong early showing, strong finish too right after getting the Baron, immediately finding a pick in mid and running straight down mid.
TSM now 6-3 with Insanity in the mid lane. His backup mid laner had a couple of oopsies this game with the Tristana jumping into the middle of the fight there, but also had a couple of really clutch moments. Got to start out 3-0 thanks to some roams. Had the kill onto the Ashe, the explosive charge at the very end of that Baron fight. Honestly, this squad's looking pretty good, man.
Gotta say, Turtle and Hauntzer back on stage in TSM jerseys as well, performing. Hauntzer with some 1v1s early on in the game. Last one didn't end up mattering. They got the Baron anyways.
They got the Baron. One guy survived with it. Props to Chime for escaping, making sure that they kept that Baron long enough to force the end of the game there. And I mean, at the end, yeah, Licorice had his 1v1 kill against Hauntzer before the Baron fight, but then he was the one who ended up getting caught in the mid lane, him dying, and then Stixxay dying right after just gave TSM that opportunity. And I love the fact that the team recognized, hey, that's enough. Push and win right here. Push, push, push.
Yep. And you saw that WildTurtle smile off the win. Insanity just jumps right in. Good old Braum passive stun here. Licorice tries to do all he can on the Cassante, but no escape path for them.
And beautiful Glacial Fissure there from Chime to interrupt huhi as he tried to engage with the Elastic Slingshot. Made it so that Zach couldn't get the positioning that he needed for the Let's Bounce and stopped any sort of full commit from the Golden Guardians.
Braum just does so much work with the double AD carry comp, allowing, you know, these aggressive rocket jumps forward here for Insanity to be able to capitalize and on top. And then being able to shove it right down mid lane into the Nexus turret. 3v5, Maokai ult under towers. They go for the dive, even with the knock up there. huhi jumps in. Turtle's focusing on the towers. They blow those up. Insanity has this charge on it as well. They don't have to kill the tanks, just ignore them. Focus on the end.
Game ends when the Nexus falls, and TSM had the right targets in their sights.
Well played, yo.
Woo! 6-6 now in the league.
Really, really impressive stuff from this TSM squad. Definitely underestimated at the beginning of the split.
Oh, yeah.
So it's nice to see the performances coming through.
And now with the game all wrapped up and week 4 coming to a close, it's time to join Emily and Chime for the Verizon post-game interview.
Hello, I am joined by the victorious Chime of TSM. Congratulations. Obviously, I have to start in the bot lane because we saw the Zac support come out. I have no idea how the Zac Braum support matchup works, so you need to inform me.
Yeah, I don't really know either, but he kind of just like queued me and then flashed on him. I think it was a good level 1 play, and they just wanted to set up a bot dive. From level 1, we said like they have a really strong dive. Like with Poppy Zac, they're just going to trade 1-for-1 and like LPL style dive and like use Zac passive. So, I mean, yeah, they had a good plan. And yeah, I think I've noticed a theme where whenever we play Golden Guardians, whoever dives bot loses. So it like worked out for us.
Oh, I'll have to track that from now on. Because, yeah, obviously they did end up setting up for that dive on you. They have played super, super aggressively in their level 1s, especially in the 2v2. So talk to me about just preparing for this Golden Guardians bot lane generally.
Yeah, I know huhi has a really like a pretty good style, honestly, of just like if he's strong side, he will like trade any HP, any sums whatsoever, just to make it like as volatile as possible. And that's usually unavoidable. But I think we could have definitely played better around it. So yeah, I think it's just getting caught off guard by the fact that we're not used to playing versus Zac. Really, it's not an excuse, but it was a good execution by them.
Yeah, I mean, you guys still actually did have an early gold lead, especially off of Insanity's mid pressure. So I wanted to talk to you about, obviously, it was kind of an insane ending, post Baron fight into the next team fight into the end. So approaching Golden Guardians when it looked like they had more control over the map and the game, how did you guys end up setting up for that final fate?
Like for the after the post Baron fight? I mean, I was just walking on mid wave, and Cassante got a little bit too close to me. So I tagged him, and he had no flash. We knew their top side had flashed in the fight before that. So I just said, like, run them down. This is the perfect fight for us. And I mean, anytime you hit double AD carry hitting front, it's gonna be really good.
Yesterday, Turtle said this is going to be a test for us, right? Because obviously we're taking on not only a top team, but a top team on a strong win streak, looking like they're improving. For TSM, how important is this specific win? Because I know sometimes people go back and forth, it's just a best of one, etc. You guys look really, really strong this week, and it looked well prepared going into this game.
Yeah, I think there's a really common theme of whenever we win, a lot of the times it's just oh, that team, whoever we played had a bad day. And I think this is the first win we had over a really strong team. So I think it should show that, we're actually contesting and people just aren't having a bad day consistently every time we beat someone.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time and also educating me on the Zach Braum matchup as much as you know. We're going to throw it back to the LCS Lounge to close out the day.
Thank you.
There it is. That's a TSM dub. Did you guys expect that? What are you guys looking at?
Yeah, I predicted it. Look at my predictions.
This guy crushed it today.
That's true.
It was a
killed
tough
your
day, and I
predictions.
went 3-2.
Yep.
You killed your predictions.
If only Eminez ran it down harder.
Oh my God! Pull up the
it.
Pog updates. We need to see the leaderboard. We just need to see first. We need to see today's Pogs first.
First, Raz.
Yes, we need to see today's Pogs first. Anything that catches your eye.
Insanity just keeps pumping out W's.
He is 6-3, we said, right?
Yeah, he's 3-0 this week. TSM was 3-3 before Ruby.
Right, and then
yeah, 6-3.
He's 6-3. Insanity has a great win rate in the LCS right now. It's good to see Core JJ have a pop-off game again, actually. I think his thresh was incredible.
Ran a train in Busio, that's true.
Yeah, obviously destroyed Busio, but then saving Summit's ass left and right with the
beautiful.
lanterns. Even Yon a couple times. He just had a really complete thresh game.
FBI had a great game down bot lane too.
Core is really loud about Lantern as well. So it actually really is nice to play with because he knows that he can save you and he'll just scream when he can. So let's people pull off plays.
All right, let's pull out the leaderboard, see where they're at. Check out who is at the top. Still Jojo Pyun at 4 tied with Blabbers.
I wonder who our MVP candidates are this season.
I actually love how this lines up.
Contracts.
It's literally Jojo and Blabber.
Yeah.
That's true, but contracts, look, Energy didn't win many wins, but when they do, it's contract that's leading the charge.
I will say, if Insanity never loses again, he might win MVP.
I was just say, if Insanity keeps up a 66% win rate, they will end at, they got 6 more games, right? So he'll go 4-2 the last 2 weeks.
10 and 8.
You guys are puffing a lot of Insanity, guys.
10 and 5 record.
If they go,
well, it's relevant now.
if he goes 10 and 5 and picks up the most Pogs, he might end up on someone's ballot.
Yeah,
Double of M&S, we didn't talk about them either, so that's nice to see from the Pog leaderboards. Let's go to the Samsung SSD Fast 5, so let's pull them up for this week. I'm interested to see who will be the top here. But yeah.
Samsung.
See what we got here. Look, Insanity once again. Fastest mythic
That's got to
item.
be from this game.
That's the slowest, fastest kill I've seen all split.
What?
No, there were some slower ones.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Yeah. There was like a 5-minute one, but it was because the jungler stole. Last week, when there were all those early first bloods, it was actually the junglers who stole them. When C9 did it to EG,
oh, this
and
is
then
only fastest bot lane kill. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know how this works, this graphic? There's one category
I
for
now
each
understand
lane.
that it's 5.
We've only had this graphic for like 6 years.
Glad we can educate you on that one.
Reminder. I wasn't here last week, so I forgot everything of the last 5 years.
I'm glad you're going to remind you on that one. Well, I'll give you a reminder to people out there that Samsung is partnered with Sleeper and the Fantasy LCS, and you can earn bonus points each week for drafting the fastest performers. Congrats to those who've earned bonus points this week. Plus, use the code SSD990LCS through August 20th to get 10% off on the 990 Pro 1 and 2 terabyte SSDs. But, guys, we got to talk about the player of the week. Drum roll, drum roll. Boom!
It's your boy Insanity subbing back into TSM this week, leading them to a first 3-0 of the season, I think it is. Off the back of some monstrous games. That Tristana game right there was obviously a huge factor.
We've had some wild player of the weeks.
Yeah.
In what's been a wild summer. We had Armeo in week 2. Now we have Insanity here in week 4. 2 players that weren't even in the league last split have had performances that merit them player of the week. And it's really hard to argue against this Yone game. He had multiple solo kills onto Balulu.
Yes.
The Tristana game we just saw, he started 3-0. He's just finding ways to get fed early in every single one of these games.
Yeah, he's been
huge for them. It was close. I will say this week, it was basically down to the game against Golden Guardians here and the fact that they won it.
True.
It was maybe Stixxay, maybe River, who knows. They both had a 2-0 week as well leading into this game. So the fact that they stopped that momentum that Golden Guardians had after beating a Cloud9 shows that TSM is not to be slept on in this league.
100%. This was a chaotic week. A lot of our top teams ended up taking losses in pretty drastic ways. So a lot of it was difficult, but Insanity had an amazing performance. So that's nice to see from somebody who's coming and returning.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see
Strong
what the future
mental
holds.
on that, boy.
Boom. That's true.
It's the strongest mental is having no mental.
Let's see what the future holds for him, though.
plays.
Let's see what the future holds for him as the Week 5 schedule. Anything that kind of catches you guys going into next week?
Got to see if TSM keeps that win streak up. Honestly, they were 3-6. They were completely out of my mind, but now I see them against Dignitas. That would move them to 7-6. Against Hunter Thieves, that's winnable. Against Team Liquid, who's also 6-6. Like, they're right in the thick of things, man.
I can already see the match of the week. Friday, Game 4, EG versus C9. That's definitely what I'm going to be looking out for. Golden Guardians versus EG. Actually, that's a really good week to watch an Evil Genius.
Evil Geniuses have a banger week.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Then Team Liquid versus Cloud9. Team Liquid beat Cloud9 the last time we saw them in that round robin.
Yeah, there's a couple good games. I'm also just looking forward to generally tracking Golden Guardians' race for 10 wins.
Yeah.
Somehow they find ways.
Can they get it next week? I don't know.
Felt like they should have got it this game, and then suddenly Zach is locked in.
It's hard to get to because they're only at.
And we're back to Cloud9 leading the pack. Sure, tied with Evil Geniuses, but remember, beat Evil Geniuses in the first round robin, so they have the head-to-head. Anything that catches your eye right now? The sad one for me is FlyQuest, because losing.
Keep happening.
Yeah.
You hope the momentum was turning around after the 3-0 week, right back to a 0-3 week. I predicted them today.
I predicted them all week. I'm 0-3 on FlyQuest games. I think they're due.
You're going to keep voting on them?
I didn't predict them today.
I am in way too deep with FlyQuest predictions. I have to keep it going.
That's a sad sunk cost fallacy.
You can stop.
Nice.
You
It's
can
impossible.
stop. You can stop.
No.
You
You can get help.
You
Stop.
can.
Get some help.
I
Listen
can
to Michael
make
Jordan.
it back.
Listen to
Guys,
Michael
don't
Jordan.
listen to
I
him.
can get it back,
This is
Mark.
not the right mentality. Do not follow this man's track. We will be back next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Remember, it's Wednesday. Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Coming back Wednesday.
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 We're on
Wednesday.
for 2 more Wednesdays and then never on Wednesday again for playoffs.
I don't know.
Are we not doing the 4-day
Nope,
week? When-
that goes Saturday, Sunday.
He's misleading you once again, guys.
true.
Don't listen
I
to this
saw
man.
the schedule today.
Okay, well, that's good information. Oh, and he's got a Red Bull. That's all we need to hear. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Stop it.
Why?
Because I got the dive after this.
Vika's alert and Dignitas making sure to move the unit. They land the arrow onto Annie, follow up with the equalizer, and Jensen's coming in with the teleport, but the burn is so good onto the FlyQuest mid laner.
Go back. He has flash too.
Viego cut away. Go mid.
Quarter?
Wait, Penta, no?
Oh, he gave?
Penta?
Wait, did he get it?
Pause into Penta. Pause into Penta.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys. Now there's no flash. Look up, guys. Up. Oh, no flashes!
Yeah.
Dino some. Yeah. I'm looking at Look, it's here. No flash. Look here, guys.
Yeah.
I can go back.
Yeah, keep going.
No, I'll tank. Yeah, no, don't need tank. Wait me. Oh, nice.
Damn!
Let's go.
Energy say we don't just need FBI's damage, we got so much more.
Holy shit! M&S is targeted there by the ulti coming out from Treats, but it won't matter. There's no follow-up. A nice use of the stasis as Fudge cuts down Tactical. Blabber's leading the charge, and Solo's stunned up. Kenby can't deal with the Piggy, and now he's going to use the Heartbreaker back over the wall. He just brings C9 to his own teammate. Kenby has condemned Treats to die with him, as Immortals will all get wiped off the map. Poor JJ over the wall trying to keep him away. He might just have to lay down his life for this one. Closes over the wall, but Baron goes over to APA. Double-elimination jumps back into the fight now and finds a kill on his former support. APA, the killing spree here for the Ziggs, but double-elimination gets a shutdown on Yon as well. Summit with the flashback over the wall, and it's Grilled Toro as double-elimination wants to pick up one more, but Summit makes his exit. makes it through the Hex Gate. Chime with a retreat back over the wall as Insanity wants to re-engage, but huhi with a good drop, dropping the aggro here with a stopwatch. Hauntzer's in the middle of 5, but that's not where he wants to be. Goodbye, Crocodile. Golden Guardians get 2. It's ready to re-engage against TSM as they try to collapse on the Cassante, and Licorice now has to be careful. He's so very low, and WildTurtle's ready to provide a little bit of extra damage. All out to escape for Licorice, but Stixxay can't do the same. Gori gets shot to pieces next, and Insanity's grabbing yet another kill. TSM may have just found the window to try to end the game.